Ben, fleeing from his pursuer, reached a mountain cave and quickly scraped away the stones above it. A hidden secret passage was revealed. Without hesitation, Ben crawled inside and, just before his enemy could catch up, successfully kicked away the wooden support beam at the entrance. He thought he had escaped disaster, but the dust billowing from the cave entrance had already betrayed his location. Staring at the collapsed entrance, John decided to play a game of cat and mouse with Ben. Inside the passage, Ben crawled forward on his belly. Severely dehydrated, he dared not let his guard down for even a moment. He quickly reached the end of the tunnel, his secret base. Parched with thirst, Ben grabbed a water bottle and drained it completely. Suffering from sunburn, he immediately put on his pants, then endured excruciating pain as he pulled leather boots over his bloodied, mangled feet. He then tore down a map from the wall that marked the locations of buried water sources. Soon, John found the entrance. Hearing the commotion, Ben quickly retreated deeper into the cave. But John picked up some nearby explosives, lit them, and hurled them into the passage. To avoid being blown to pieces, Ben had no choice but to scramble frantically out of the cave. Fortunately, he escaped just before the explosives detonated. Unfortunately, John had been waiting at the cave mouth all alone. To avoid leaving evidence, John still refused to shoot Ben. Instead, he threatened him to continue walking into the desert, intending for Ben to die of heat exposure. Though physically and mentally exhausted, Ben still hadn't given up hope. Following the coordinates marked on his map, he successfully located a previously buried metal box and retrieved the slingshot inside. He then found the hidden water source. Ben excitedly grabbed the water bucket and began drinking, but he hadn't anticipated that John had followed him. John fired a shot that shattered the bucket. Recognizing John's ruthless methods, Ben had no choice but to obey his commands, trudging onward under the blazing sun toward the distance. While Ben struggled in misery, John appeared completely at ease. He sat in his chair leisurely sipping a cocktail. By this point, Ben looked utterly lifeless. Before long, John drove up to find Ben collapsed on the ground, apparently dead. But John wasn't ready to let him off the hook. He raised his hunting rifle and fired a shot beside Ben's body. Ben was terrified beyond measure but didn't dare move, fearing John would discover he was feigning death. Fortunately, John was reluctant to leave bullet evidence in Ben's body. After confirming that Ben had indeed died from heat exposure, John picked up his weapon and drove away. As long as Ben died from the heat, John's previous killing would never be exposed by Ben. However, what he hadn't expected was that when he stopped to make a phone call, he suddenly spotted Ben still alive, making his way toward the mountain peak. This instantly sent John into a towering rage. If he hadn't been concerned about leaving evidence of murder, he would have shot Ben dead on the spot. Without hesitation, he raised his rifle and began attacking Ben on the mountainside. Fortunately, due to the considerable distance, each of John's bullets went wide of their mark. Seeing Ben take cover behind a large boulder, John had to drive closer in pursuit. Ben desperately climbed toward the summit and was fortunate enough to discover a cave halfway up the mountain. To prevent Ben from escaping under cover of darkness, John kept his headlights on and maintained watch outside the cave entrance. The desert's day-night temperature difference was extreme. Without clothing, Ben shivered uncontrollably from the cold. In his despair, he discovered that the dried-up pool was seeping groundwater, undoubtedly a lifeline for Ben. Ben regained some of his strength, and now it was time for his counterattack.